Man, oh man, oh man. Y'all are probably thinking, what's this? A Roadking vlog? Holy hell! I'm alive! I'm alive! Yes, I do apologize. I have been hiatus for like a good minute due to some bad luck, but I'm here, I'm back, and I'm ready to ride. So let's get into it. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance. Or however my intro music goes. What's going on, YouTube? Man, it's been about a hot minute since I got to talk to y'all. So, y'all are probably wondering, Roadking, what the hell, man? Where you been? So, here's what happened. I go to a bike night around in my local area about every Thursday. And a couple of us show up, you know, we pull up into the parking lot, we shoot the shit, check out each other's bikes, and generally, we'll go for we'll either pick a restaurant to ride to, or maybe some people will go for a short little ride, whatever. But, so I go there, show up, hanging around, talking to people, and we pick a place to go to. And, one of the guys there, I've been going there for almost a year and a half now, almost 2 years. It's not a whole deal of oh, who's been there longer kind of deal. It's just, you know how certain people are, and you know how to ride with certain people. But, so I show up, and we're like, hey, let's go for a short little ride and go grab something to eat. And I'm like, all right, I'm down. And, oh, please turn green. Thank you. And so we're going through, and the guy's like, well, he decides that this one guy, decides that he's going to lead. I'm like, all right. So he's leading the little short route, and I'm essentially, after a certain point, we're staggered, and he's in the front left, I'm behind him on the back right. And essentially, if you want to put it, I'm in second rank, I guess. So if you want to call it a rank or a position, whatever you want to do. But I'm behind him to the back right. So we pull up to an intersection. We're sitting there at a red light, and he's saying, and I distinctly remember him saying, when we get past this intersection, we need to make a U-turn. Now, to me, in North Carolina, a U-turn is where you get past the median on the other side of the intersection, and you make a left-handed U-turn. That is my general assumption of a U-turn. Well, I guess he either got confused or something, so we're going through the intersection, and albeit I probably could have done better on my end as far as giving him space and stuff, and for that I know that I was in the wrong. But so we're going through, and he decides that he may have had his blinker on. I don't remember, but he decides that instead of the U-turn, which is what I thought we were doing, he's going to come across me in my path, and he was going to pull into this Pizza Hut parking lot next to me, or on the right hand side of the road, and that's where we're going to turn around in. Well, you know, path going one way, you cut across another path, and now we've got this perpendicular point where we're going to meet, and unfortunately that's what happened. And we're going through, and I see him coming across my path, and I'm luckily able to downshift and slow down, but I was not able to stop from hitting him, unfortunately. And so I kind of hit him, and I guess in the result of it, I did my best to slow down and stop as much as possible, and probably grabbed a handful of front brake, and my bike went down. My bike went over on the right hand side. I kind of hit the ground, rolled, and immediately got back up. After I assessed that, okay, you know, I'm fine, nothing's broken, nothing feels abnormal, I go over and assess Jenna. I make sure my bike is okay. So, my bike goes down. I mean, I've got a little bit of pain in my ankle, And I'm thinking that's because my bike fell over on me. Well, more likely it's probably because I went to put my foot out and I may have either slid it, rolled it, done whatever. But I had a few scrapes on my fairings, so now my fairings have some character. There's a little nick in the top part of the fairing, like right underneath my handlebar, I guess because my handlebar dug down into it and that's where it connected. And like, I mean, there wasn't any major damage. I was actually able to ride the bike to work that night and then ride it home the next morning. I think the most thing that hurt was my ankle and my pride, because I dropped my bike, and that's never a good feeling. But because I'm a perfectionist, you know, I like my bike to look a certain way, that I scraped up the right bar end, the brake lever, and the right, at the time I only had swing arm spools. So the next day I went out and bought, a new brake lever, new bar ends, because I hate the stock Honda bar ends that come with it anyway. And I bought swing arm sliders as opposed to just the standard spools. And so we spent all day. Oh, and the other damage was my forks were out of alignment. Because if you know anything about motorcycles, then you know the forks can actually move independently. Well, maybe I can see that here. Like, you can have the top fork and then the bottom fork, and they can actually do this, but they're supposed to stay in line. So I think it was like my top one was like this and the bottom one was like this or something or another. Basically, my wheel was going straight, but my bars were off kiltered, off center. Yikes. And I wasn't having that. I like how I said I wouldn't vlog at red lights, but I got caught up in my story. Needless to say, I wasn't exactly pleased, but I was safe, and I was in one piece, and so I spent the next morning putting the new parts on and loosening up my fork, not my forks, my triple tree, the bottom triple tree, and having to get my forks back in alignment. And so a buddy of mine, which I will actually eventually put the dual vlog out that we did the next day. His name is Crash. He's got a good I don't know how much of a YouTube channel that he has, but you'll know him as the infamous guy that crashed at Yummy R6's meetup in Virginia Beach. So he came and rode with me, and we're sitting there riding, shooting the shit, explaining like my crash and his crash and blah 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 blah. And we pull up at a stoplight, and he's like, "Dude, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you got a bolt in your rear tire." And I'm like, So unfortunately, I spent what could have bought a brand new rear tire on the stuff to fix the bike to be my perfectionist ways. And so I had to wait like a whole another 2-week pay period before I could get my new rear tire. And unfortunately, that's where I've been. Waiting to get the new rear tire. Finally got the new rear tire. And I've had like a lot of other stuff that I've had to deal with. But I'm back. Jenna's back. And now I can resume normal vlogging schedules. Ugh. Whew. Oh man, that's cool. I'm never used to registering the light. Although that new tire greatness does feel awesome. But I've also been having to like, I don't know if it happened because of the crash or something, but like my bike was sitting on the rear stand in my living room for like 2 weeks, and every other day or so, just to, you know, get a little bit of a fix, I would either turn my bike on just so I could hear the fuel pump prime to make sure that was still going and make sure the battery wasn't dead, even though I had it hooked up to a tender and everything else. And I'm constantly tweaking and adjusting it so that way my bike is my bike. It's perfect for me. Goddamn bugs. I'm getting hit everywhere. But it smells like somebody's barbecuing at 11:30 at night. But I've always been tweaking my throttle a little bit here, so that way I get like the perfect amount of throttle free play, or I guess in my sense a lack thereof, because I have almost no free play in my throttle. I don't like a lot of free play in my throttle. I know that when I twist the throttle, I want instant response. I don't want a little bit of a delay or anything else like that. And it does come to make it a little more difficult, like when I go to let off the throttle, because like sometimes when you let off the throttle on throttles that have free play, it slows it down a little bit more gradual, whereas this one I let it off and it's, you know, off. But that's happened, as well as, I don't know if you guys can probably tell, I guess I could have addressed this at the beginning of the video, that I got a new helmet. Don't get me wrong, I still have my variant. I will occasionally be using my variant on every so often, but I got an Icon Armada because I wanted a more traditional style helmet, especially when I was doing long rides, like long aggressive rides. Yeah, I know I said I wouldn't vlog at red lights, but I don't have much longer to go. Where, I mean, the Revzilla was discounting them, and I can only assume that when Icon starts discounting gear, it's because their new lineup is coming out, and I can't wait. So I picked up an Icon Armada Salient, and it's been great to me so far. Absolutely love it. The only issue I've had so far is trying to get the Cena 20S into the cheek pad, but I did eventually get it in there, and it's nice, it's snug. My mic, I use the very thin mic. I don't use the boom one, the wired mic, I guess is what they would call it. It kind of crapped out, so I contacted Cena. Cena is a great company because they were like, what's the issue? And I told them that I tried to transfer my Cena from one helmet to another, and next thing I know, the wired mic wasn't working. They said, okay, send us your address, we'll send you a new one. Wham, bam, done. New mic works perfectly, or you guys can tell me after I edit this video. But it's been great talking to you guys. I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.